The headlines: International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction 2024 marked in Honiara. Diabetes is the most prevalent non-communicable disease (NCD) in Solomon Islands. And Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele has invited investors from the United Arab Emirates to visit Solomon Islands before the end of this year. Hello, you're watching SIBC's TV News Bulletin. I'm Sharon Nanau. International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction 2024 marked in Honiara, with the theme empowering the next generation for a resilient future. According to UNICEF, approximately 1 billion children worldwide are at extremely high risk due to climate impact, including climate-related disasters. Ian Kaukui reports.
International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction 2024 marked in Honiara with the theme Empowering the Next Generation for a Resilient Future. In her remarks at the event, Ministry of Environment, Climate Change, Disaster Management and Meteorology Permanent Secretary Susan Sulu said almost 70% of Solomon Islands population is under the age of 30. Empowering the youthful population in the area of disaster resilient is of importance as Solomon Islands frequently faces disasters.
It is a day that reminds us of the challenges where you may face in times of disaster. And Solomon Islands, we are all too familiar with that. You may face disasters in terms of floods, cyclones. It's a normal thing that every day we are faced with that. So it is important that we reflect on the disasters that we are faced with and the challenges that they pose to us, our livelihoods and our communities and the economy as well. But we would also like to reflect on how we as communities and together as stakeholders make the commitment for addressing disasters and also to be prepared for disasters. So that's the importance of today, the International Day for Disaster Risk Reduction. Today we also embrace a vital theme, which is empowering the next generation for a resilient future. This theme emphasizes a fundamental truth: the power of education in preparing our children for the challenges of tomorrow. It also emphasizes how we should focus on children and youth as leaders, and thus the specific focus that we should take towards inclusivity. At the outset, we also like for take a moment to honor the resilience and courage of those who have faced disasters. We remember those who have lost their lives and affected, and the communities that have shown remarkable strength in adversity. Today, it would also be right that we acknowledge disaster workers and everyone who is always involved both in disaster preparedness but as well as in disaster response.
Meanwhile, National Disaster Management Office Director Jonathan Tafiariki said collaboration between all stakeholders involved in disaster preparedness in the country is now more important than ever.
The Solomon Islands, the 1989 government play me him come up with one for a law that him set him now foundations for how for you manage him and deal with them disasters in the country. The 1989 you the National Disaster Councils Act of 1989 become the foundation law where him guiding me law. So every disaster management work play me the country. However, me like also recognize him the role below every sectors below you me, the education sector, NGOs, civil society, church leaders, and the community itself towards driving the cause of education or awareness or disaster risk reductions. The country blame here. acknowledging the continuous role that they perform by all agencies by ensuring that people below me get informed, provided with knowledge necessary for the survey about the disasters in the country. We have come through so much the history below me, but this really proven me how resilient you me, the communities below me, and the country below me.
Yan Kaukui, SIBC TV.
Diabetes is the most prevalent non-communicable disease (NCD) in Solomon Islands, with diabetes affecting 1 in 7 people. Mary Manelegua reports.
Diabetes is the most prevalent non-communicable disease (NCD) in Solomon Islands. Ministry of Health and Medical Services, NCD Department National Coordinator Nevalin Laisango revealed during a seminar held by the Japanese Embassy and Japan International Cooperation Agency (JICA) on promoting healthy diet to prevent NCDs. She said approximately 14% of NCD patients in the country's population have diabetes.
By say diabetes na the highest this time lo country below me about 14% lo population below me what karem na diabetes lo country, and also not only that one but complications below him before find him had little bit, especially time what katem leg block it because if what katem leg block it otan wheelchair no enough or no karem crutches for stay lo him several time or the patient but the sustain no more or the worry or the stress no more blood pressure come in now then also before looking or them also time span block it also stay long because of stress with them sick so something him not check come helping.
Laisango also mentioned that diabetes can be reversible once the patient takes care of their diet.
So most times diabetes is reversible no way. Time what to look after diet and exercise good and what to look after okay that sugar block it by normal then not no current complications, but because sometimes also you what hear this about diabetes no more say oh me no good na I think by me because of diet na but him no more him are reversible meaning that after you look after diet blow you or patients blow you me look after diet block it sugar block it by normal also control him normal and but no katem leg or no by diet or some teething block it.
Mary Manelegua, SIBC TV.
Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele has invited investors from the United Arab Emirates, UAE, to visit Solomon Islands before the end of this year. Honorable Manele told local media the invited investors will be looking for investment opportunities across the country's various sectors. Prime Minister Manele said it is his government's vision to have the Special Economic Zone Bill tabled in Parliament this year. He said the bill will provide incentives for foreign investors to invest in Solomon Islands.
I had several meetings with interested investors from the United Arab Emirates to Solomon Islands. They are looking for investment opportunities in the country. I have invited the investors to visit Solomon Islands before the end of 2024 to discuss and consider transformational investments in infrastructure and other areas that would drive development in the country. I also took the opportunity to discuss a number of important transformational infrastructure that we have in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, it is GINA's vision to table a special economic zone bill in Parliament in November-December this year. The enactment of the SEZ legislation will provide incentives for foreign investors to invest in Solomon Islands. There is tremendous interest in the Bin Harbour project that could give this transformative initiative a major boost. My ministry or office will coordinate the next steps of discussing on this initiative with the Ministry of Fisheries as soon as possible.
The Ministry of Health and Medical Services and its partners on Thursday celebrated World Mental Health Day in Honiara. World Mental Health Day is an international day for global mental health education, awareness and advocacy against social stigma. Ian Kaukui with more.
The Ministry of Health and Medical Services and its partners on Thursday celebrated World Mental Health Day in Honiara. The day was celebrated under the theme, "It is time to prioritize mental health in the workplace." Reflecting on the theme, Minister of Health Deputy Secretary Health Improvement, Dr. Nemia Bainivalu said mental health issues in the workplace are mostly hidden.
So we must recognize that mental health is more than just the absence of mental health conditions. It is a state of well-being that everyone must guarantee, that enabling people to cope with life stresses, realizing the abilities and learn and work effectively and contribute the way we stay, the way we interact, and the communities bring. As we said before, the workplace is no place where any living no maya. It's a place where there is a community, there is a space, an environment where you interact with my colleagues, the people will come and seek him services, where we provide him, where we face challenges, both physical, mental, and emotionally as well. And also in that, we also strive to be successful in the workplace that we wabakalayan. Yet, despite the importance of now, we today like to emphasize on prioritizing mental health to workplace. Mental health issues are often hidden due to fear, embarrassment. And then the outcome and consequence is that can profoundly affect our own well-being.
Director of Mental Health Service, Stephen Aretewa, said mental health issues is a growing concern for Solomon Islands.
In the Solomon Islands, mental health issues are a growing concern. We have seen an increasing number of cases. Some of the common conditions seen are schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, substance-induced psychosis, and neurotic conditions like anxiety disorders, depression, and suicidal cases. We have also seen our young school children moving into a new form of homegrown drug called cocaine. We need to find out the content of the substance, and so far we have seen few cases suspected of cocaine-induced psychosis. Stigma, discrimination still exists in mental health conditions in our society today. There is also low mental health literacy among our population, as well in understanding the mental health conditions.
Meanwhile, the World Health Organization representative, Dr. Howard Sobel, congratulated the Solomon Islands government for implementing the country's mental health policy.
I would like to emphasize and congratulate the government of Solomon Islands on implementing national mental health policy, which is very important, and the government of Solomon Islands is implementing it now 2 years since its launching. And this is the input for many stakeholders, partners, because mental health is not only the health agenda, it involves all of us, the voices of the community, families, members.
Yan Kaukui, SIBC TV.
Solomon Islands ambassador to the United Arab Emirates will be Solomon Islands representative at the International Renewable Energy Agency, Irena. Prime Minister Honorable Jeremiah Manele announced to local media following his arrival into the country last week after his international tour to UAE and Saudi Arabia. Honorable Manele said during his tour he has requested the Irena to have one of their officials deployed to the Ministry of Mines, Energy and Rural Electrification.
The International Renewable Energy Agency, Irena, is hosted by the United Arab Emirates. Solomon Islands is a member of the Irena and has benefited from its work in the region and nationally in the country. Irena has just completed a renewable energy readiness survey whose recommendations will guide Solomon Islands to develop a comprehensive renewable energy roadmap. The delegation had a useful meeting with the Irena team or secretariat, and amongst other issues discussed was Irena's Small Island Developing States Lighthouse initiatives. I registered Solomon Islands' support for the initiatives, and I committed Solomon Islands to have a stronger engagement with Irena. The Solomon Islands ambassador to the United Arab Emirates will shortly be accredited as Solomon Islands' permanent representative to Irena and will sit at the Irena Council as a member. This is of a similar status to that of permanent representative to the UN in New York. The ambassador will be Solomon Islands' UAE-based focal point as we work to maximize benefits Irena has to offer Solomon Islands.
Prime Minister Manele adds Solomon Islands has benefited from the work Irena carries out.
I also requested the consideration of the Irena to deploy air staff to be located at the Ministry of Mines, Energy and Rural Electrification in Honiara to ensure we work together to enhance the benefits Solomon Islands can receive from and through Irena.
Potentially polluting shipwrecks from World War II are a major threat to marine environments in the Solomon Islands. Andrea Mahanua with the details.
Potentially polluting shipwrecks from World War II are a major threat to marine environments in the Solomon Islands. This issue was highlighted at the Strengthening Marine Pollution Incident Resilience Workshop in Honiara. PAC Plan Officer for the Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program, Paul Irving, told local media that fuel on sunken vessels are now leaking into the ocean.
The polluting wrecks from World War II and between World War II and now, they're going to be a major threat to the Pacific over the next 15 to 20 years, right? A vessel that sank with oil on it, it will start to deteriorate. Many of them are already deteriorating. Many of them are already leaking. It's a huge problem. And there's a lot of people working worldwide. It's not just in the Pacific.
He adds Solomon Islands would require broader joint efforts from the region, including assistance from international partners.
This is something where the Solomon Islands alone cannot deal with it. We need support from the international community, in particular the Japanese, the Australians, the United States, to make sure that it's no longer about whose wreck, why did it happen. It's now more about looking at the people who live here and saying, what will be the impact? We have to get past that history.
Around 4,000 shipwrecks are within the Pacific alone, many of which can be found in Solomon Islands waters. Addressing the risks of PPWs is no easy task, as wreckages are often littered with unexploded ordnances and are also considered war graves. Senior research scientist at the UK Centre for Environment, Fisheries and Aquaculture Science, Dr. Freya Goodsir explained collaboration would help build resilience among communities to respond effectively to PPWs.
Shipping incidents become less, but they're still there and they can still happen. And with the World War II wrecks, as mentioned, these are leaking. There's some of them leaking off the coast here. And it's about building the resilience for the communities and the local to be able to protect their livelihoods for things like fisheries, tourism, and we want to be able to bring these partners together to kind of build that awareness and work together really in times to try and build that preparedness and resilience up in the countries.
Andrea Ma'ahanwa for SIBC TV.
The Japanese Embassy and the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, held a seminar focused on promoting a healthy diet through media to prevent non-communicable diseases. Mary Maneligua reports.
The Japanese Embassy and the Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA, held a seminar focused on promoting a healthy diet through media to prevent non-communicable diseases, NCDs, in Honiara. The seminar features a brief overview of the history and culture of Japanese food and the involvement of JICA volunteers in the NCD department at the National Referral Hospital. Speaking to SIBC News, Japanese Ambassador to Solomon Islands, His Excellency Yoshiaki Miwa says Japan values its medical cooperation with Solomon Islands.
Care issue is one of the important areas between our cooperation between our two countries. We have cooperated for a long time, and at this moment, I understand that one of the most critical challenges you are facing is the NCD. The amputation is too bad number. So actually, when Prime Minister Manere visited Tokyo, he raised this issue to our Prime Minister. So we are now working on how could we cooperate. But actually, we have cooperated on this issue already. JICA volunteers members, they were deployed to the Ministry of the Health already, and just coincidentally.
Meanwhile, National NCD Coordinator Nevalin Laisango highlighted the involvement of JICA volunteers at the National Referral Hospital.
Especially Lord JICA volunteer with him, stay with him before this time. Him is Savegona Hospital, especially Lord Diabetes Center. Him go do awareness Lord patients a National Diabetes Center. Also him doing more training Lord nurses about diabetes. How now for doing education lot of patients where come every day Lord Diabetes Center. Him giving training how important now look after with them sick diabetes.
Mary Manelegua, SIBC TV.
Now, a 4-day workshop on strengthening marine pollution incident resilience in the Pacific successfully concluded in Honiara. Andrea Mahanua with the details.
A 4-day workshop on strengthening marine pollution incident resilience in the Pacific successfully concluded in Honiara on Friday. The program provided a space for key stakeholders to build their knowledge on marine pollution incident preparedness, including sharing of information and experiences. Speaking at the closing, British High Commissioner to Solomon Islands, Tom Coward, noted that regional maritime authorities had shown immense interest in holding the workshop.
When we proposed and were first discussing doing workshops on maritime pollution, there was huge interest and excitement from all sorts of stakeholders. There was an overwhelming desire coming out of previous experiences, coming out of an assessment of where we were in capacity, coming out of new structures in place, new institutions in place, to do more. It wasn't that there wasn't anything in place, it was just that there was this understanding that more could be done, it could be done better, it could be done faster, and more could be done to help people in Solomon Islands and across the region, and that this was crucial. That we can speed up responses, that we can do responses better, and that we can avert them if possible.
Coward acknowledged the workshop facilitators and participants while also emphasizing the importance of partnership.
So I'm really pleased that we were able to mobilise something in support, that we were able to pull this together. I want to say a huge thanks to the colleagues who've done this. Thanks to the colleagues from the region, and thanks to the colleagues who've come all the way from the UK, because this is important. And the most important thank you is to you all for coming, participating, being part of this. It's fantastic to work in partnership. It's fantastic to move things forward. We really hope that UK support in this space is welcome, has pushed things forward. I hope the UK support in this space has made things better. Please do let us know if there's more we can do. Please do let us know if there's things we can do differently, because partnership matters to us. And that means listening, it means getting feedback, it means working together. So thank you all so much for being in the room.
Meanwhile, one of the workshop participants, Manager for Environment Protection and Safety at the Solomon Islands Maritime Authority, SIMA, Rachel Barre, stressed the importance of the workshop to SIMA's preparedness and response to maritime incidents.
Very important na this workshop because help SIMA and then Imi solo. Imi learn from this workshop and prepare too for any marine incident like oil spill. In case bahem happen lo waters blame ba imi sawe hana ba imi respond o hana from training itu by Miss help me for me learn for prepare for any incidents or some, and then by me sabe respond to time him actually happen. Okay, for these 4 days since Tuesday till today Friday, the other areas where other covering lo this workshop him me say him all of them very important for country blame, yeah. So me fala representing me Los Solomon Islands, and then the others from Vanuatu and Fiji and Kiribati. Me fala learn a lot from this workshop.
SIBC News understands the workshop is funded by the United Kingdom's Ocean Country Partnership Program in collaboration with the Secretariat of the Pacific Regional Environment Program. Andrea Ma'ahanua for SIBC TV.
Now, the much talked about Bonfire event was successfully held yesterday. Eliza Kukutu reports.
The annual celebration of music and culture, the Bonfire Festival, concluded with a blast in Honiara on Saturday. The event, which drew thousands to the Heritage Park Hotel, featured artists from Papua New Guinea, Vanuatu, and some of Solomon Islands' renowned artists. Attendees commended the event, which brought the Solomon Islands music scene to another level. Organized by Solomon Islands' renowned musician Jeremy Saini, or Jaro Local, the Bonfire Festival aims to celebrate artists and music in the Pacific region, partnering with headliners from the region. This year's festival saw PNG artist Tonton Malele, J-Rex, Nene Morris, and Vanuatu's Shaza performing some of their hit singles. In a recent press conference, Jaro Local say the festival looks to promoting and developing artists and encouraging community engagement.
So mission in Bonfire is the celebration of music and culture. Yeah? So it's just to create an inclusive, electrifying atmosphere that you may celebrate now of the diverse genres of music and rich cultural heritage we got and for expressing. So we are happy to much for giving this experience for everyone who attended Bonfire. The other one, as we already mentioned, is the support for artists, which is very crucial to an artist's career and for over the people of ongoing one and also to building people around the world. And then the other one is community engagement. Right now we are engaging our West Side community, Lower River, for help out with their security and few more things that needs to be done around here. So we are happy to much for a lot of our youths, Lower River, that volunteer for come and help out. So that's one aim of Bonfire.
He also highlighted the festival's aim to support the country's economy.
And the other one is like the economic impact of Bonfire. Everything that we make here goes back into the country, and with all the support from all the companies, all the opportunities that we create, not only for companies but for us artists, we will work closely with the companies the same, and we part of one for a good leverage for me follow too. So I think basically that's the mission of Bonfire. It's a celebration of music and culture, support for artists, community engagement, and travel economic impact.
For SIBC TV, I'm Eliza Kukutu.
And now the latest in sports with Crofton Utukana.
The Solomon Islands national beach soccer team is currently preparing for the OFC Beach Soccer Nations Cup, which will be hosted in Honiara from October 20 to 26, 2024. The competition is also a qualifier for the 2025 FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup. Solomon Islands head coach James Naka told SIBC Sports that the team is intensifying its preparations.
this time. Boys, I think, have me 5 weeks training now. And boys looking sharp, looking good. And we feel ready for this tournament, which of me host. I feel a big challenge for me feel too, see me host. So me feel must prepare well and good for them and ready. I think for squad, I think a little bit mix of new and old. I think 5 to 6, 4 new players now. I think we put them inside, and the others are the old ones who are them play or qualify for 2 qualifiers. Months ago, I think we were doing a trial here, 40 players plus. Then we stream him down to 20. Then now we fall 14 now to fall non-traveler and 12 players.
Regarding his appointment as head coach, Naka stated that he is familiar with beach soccer and is confident in his ability to lead the team.
I think, man, a big task for me too and role for me too as me taking head coach. But this game have no new me. I think word coaching no me taken. Me have all about what now beach, inside low beach. So me feel confident for taking team.
Coach Naka also acknowledged that all 4 teams that will be competing in the competition are preparing well, but he considers Tahiti to be one of the top contenders.
I think for me, I think everyone ought ready for tournament. Actually, I think Tahiti, as you say, one of the best team in the Pacific. Also, almost every time we go for World Cup. And we look forward and also face game too, Tahiti, so it will be an interesting game. Yeah, we got game plan against Tahiti. Where we ready and we practicing. And boys, this time I'm flow with them. So I think we feel confident that the boys will make something different.
Meanwhile, Coach Naka is calling on beach soccer fans and supporters to rally behind the team, highlighting how their encouragement can boost the players' morale as they prepare for the upcoming competition. Crofton Otokana, SIBC TV.
And that's news. Follow us on sibconline.com.sb and our SIBC News Facebook page for more of our latest stories. Thanks for watching.